could accomplish basically anything you set your mind to. Like, because I don't know how to code, but the things that I've been able to build, even if they were extremely hard, like, it's possible now, because if you work hard and long enough, you're able to make it work if you put in the time and the effort. So it's like any crazy idea I have, like, I'm able to make it a reality. And like, I think that's the coolest part.
Avi, how are we doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
A pleasure. Let's jump straight into you. So I've done a lot of research on you beforehand, and it seems as if you've got a background in a lot of areas. I can see law, accounting, finance, and technology implementation. It looks as if that's combined into what you offer now. So tell me a bit about your story and the kind of genesis of the AI Consulting Network.
Yeah, so I do have quite a unique background. I actually just finished law school back in May, and I'm using a lot of skills that I learned over the course of my career to do what I'm doing right now regarding helping companies leverage AI. So I actually got an accounting, business management, finance degree for undergrad. Originally, I was pursuing the CPA, and then I worked at PwC doing risk assurance, which is IT, general controls, and automation. So at that point, I didn't really love it at the moment, but it's just funny how all the skills that I learned from those implementations, I'm really using now, because I work directly on SOC 2 reports and learning how controls should be in place to really keep security and information in place. So that's a lot of skills that I'm using right now. And then I transitioned to law school. And while doing law school, I was working for a solo practitioner, getting insights into the real estate industry. And I also was getting the law background. And then when AI came out, I saw that this was really going to be a game changer and change like everything. So while doing law school, while working, I was kind of just going all in on learning AI by myself, and I don't have a tech background. So I was kind of learning everything from scratch, like just playing with ChatGPT as much as I can, reading all the documents, playing with every single large language model that came out. And then towards the end of my 3L law school, I realized that I have this culmination of all these skills from business, finance, law, IT, and now the AI piece, that I was like, I really want to do something bigger than just the standard career. So I was like, I'm going to start my own company, because I've been speaking to a lot of people and I knew so much about AI at that point. And I realized that no one was really capitalizing on the opportunity or really getting the benefits out of it, because it just seemed like a foreign language. So I really wanted to then jump in, start my company, and help people really leverage it to be helpful to them from a business point of view, not just from it's nice to play with.
What was the genesis of the idea of what you would offer? Like, when you made that move from working for another company to entrepreneurship and you founded this AI Consulting Network, what was the initial offer that you're running with? What is the value proposition that you're selling to people?
The founding proposition was really, really good at taking your entire company and what you're doing, mapping out the entire process, and giving you direct insights into how you could actually leverage it. And I'll tell you which tools you should use, like what are the prompts you should be using, and what are innovative ways that you could leverage it in your operations. So a lot of people post a lot of sample prompts online or different ways to leverage it. But unless you have it tailored to your use case or to your business or to your background, I find that people say that AI is really not good at its output. But my response to that is just either the input's not good enough, or you're just not refining the output enough, and you don't really know how to manipulate AI enough to be beneficial to you. Because once you get to that point, like I've even had people message me, be like, oh, hey, are your emails like AI, or are your LinkedIn posts AI? And I say, yeah, because like, I'm not like a hypocrite. Like, I use AI for everything, but when it's so personalized and it's so fine tuned and it's all my ideas and my insights, but it just helps me out in the formatting and get my expression out much faster. like it's a tool that could be leveraged in so many ways.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions that you face when talking with different clients, with doing the podcast, with doing the newsletter, just talking to other businesses and people in general? Like, what do people get wrong about AI?
I think they view it as a option to learn, and that it's something that needs to be on their to-do list. They know it's important, but they're busy right now. So I've gotten a lot of feedback from just saying, oh, we're busy right now. We don't have the time to learn it. And that point, it's never going to come. No one's ever not busy. Like, I don't remember speaking to anyone that said, no, we're not busy. Like, it's perfect time. So the technology is so revolutionary and people don't realize how much it could do for their business. So if they're not actually trying to implement it into their company, like the companies that are integrating it right now have a significant advantage. And then eventually I don't know like a timeline, but like 5-10 years or even less, maybe, especially with all the agentic AI coming out, like it's not going to even be a competition for companies leveraging AI versus companies that aren't.
Yes, long-term people playing long-term games, and we've seen that a lot as well. Like, we run a business, we know how busy we get as well. We obviously leverage AI internally, but to really like understand the scope of the opportunity with AI, we hired an external company to come in and be like, okay, let's speak to everyone on your team. Let's see what holes there are. Let's see what's missing. Let's see how we can leverage AI to give you scale, right? Because there's a point in time where a business can run well enough to where it's profitable and it's growing, and that's great, right? But it's not going to have the legs to scale 10x or 100x without leveraging something such as this. And when you go, sorry, were you going to say something?
You could scale with the same amount of employees as without paying those employees. So another thing that people like to hear is, okay, what's the ROI? What's that return on investment for? Okay, I'm going to pay you a certain amount a month and you're going to help me. Well, like, what's my money back? So that's also an interesting way to evaluate it, because the ROI is your time back. So it's how much you value your time and what are you doing. So if you value your time as like you're billing someone $1,000 an hour, it's just like, I'm going to save you 15, 20 hours a week. So you could take that time, do more work. You could take that time to relax more. I'm saying it's really in your hands on how you make that opportunity with how much more time you're getting back in your day.
It really builds back to that, are those principles laid out by Naval and Eric Jorgensen's book on the Almanac of Naval Ravikant about leverage, right? Is like, we now have more leverage than we ever have before. And Naval talks about that as well, as like putting a price on your time. And if something can save you that amount of time, then it's worth that amount of value. And I guess it sounds like that's maybe part of your sales process. And I kind of noticed from your website that you offer a free 15-minute consultation. And I was wondering, it's a bit abstract, but I was wondering if we could go through that on a live call right now.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Awesome. All right. So I have booked a call. I'm not sure if you've done research on me before. My name's Lawson, run the AI report. We're mainly a newsletter, but we have different facets of the business. And then, yeah, I'll let you kind of take it from here.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you. And I just wanted to know, could you just tell me a bit more about your processes in creating the newsletter or other ways that you operate on? And first of all, what tools do you use and how familiar you are with AI, and then that entire process of where the data flows and how it is managed?
Yeah. So if we're to take the newsletter as an example, Amanda's our great editor-in-chief. So she'll have a resource list of maybe 25 resources. She'll go into them, check them every day, and notice what kind of articles are coming up most often. And from there, she'll kind of make a selection of what's included in the newsletter that day. She might run them through ChatGPT. So I think she utilizes Perplexity and ChatGPT to get them into the format that we want to use. And then there's obviously different sections. So we have a training tool section. She'll do some research on that independently. I think that's pretty manual. ultimately gets sent this format in Beehive, and then we schedule that in advance to a list of 400,000. In terms of that, is like it's mainly ChatGPT and Perplexity for research, but there's probably parts that could be automated that aren't being automated right now.
So how many hours a week would you say she works on like researching the newsletter, editing?
Maybe 25, 30.
Got it. So what if you were able to do that in like less than 2 hours a week, and it would be a much better analysis, and the articles, like every article could get analyzed automatically, and the articles just come up and be like, oh yeah, this is direct to your audience. And then you could have that automation be already into your newsletter, everything already done. So now you could save those 20, 30 hours a week down to basically maybe an hour or two.
I mean, if you could ensure that the quality was as good, if not better, the resources were double checked, all the links were checked to make sure that they are legit, and it's assuring the same level of quality, obviously that would be massively valuable to us. We would need a human in the loop to check over at the end to be like, okay, definitely ready to pull that schedule.
Yeah, like I always tell all my clients, like, never publish anything without reviewing every single detail, but that doesn't mean it's not going to quicken up the entire process. So just as an example, I'm also running a newsletter that's daily. So I set up an automation where it basically reads every single article that's published on a daily basis online, and it reads every single one. And then I graded a criteria on high, medium, or low priority based on the audience that I'm trying to target. So it has this entire framework and a grading system that it reads it, and it's through a make.com workflow where it runs 24/7. So it attaches Feedly to make.com, to my Airtable, and then I have a custom GBT set up when I use O1 Pro. So I pay $200 a month for the ChatGPT Plus version for the extra reasoning. So then all I need to do is go into my Airtable. Then all of the articles are already filtered on which articles I should focus on and which one would be pertinent to my audience. And then I just go pick from there which ones I think are going to be the best from already the high priority ones. So there's hundreds of articles being analyzed on a daily basis without me lifting a finger, and then me taking those articles, putting it in my custom GBT with my custom instructions, exactly how I want everything formatted. And then I get the output, link everything back, review everything, make sure everything's accurate and good, and then just schedule and send it off. So you're taking a process that takes 30 hours a week of research, constantly looking through things, where everything could be automated to the point of I just go at the end of my day and just review the articles, because everything's already tailor made. So like, it's the instructions that once they're fine tuned enough and you get it to the point of where you love where it's at, like, the sky's the limit as much as you could do.
I mean, it seems like a bit of a no-brainer. Like, what would you, in terms of cost, what would you scope something like this out as? For, say, for example, we wanted it as like a one-time build that we just come in, we just approve some messaging, some articles, and then it writes it for us. Like, what would you price something like this out on?
I don't really do one-time builds right now and then give over the instructions, because in terms of copyright and IP, it's the way that you write the instructions and the way that you set up these types of systems. I show it online. I've posted many videos about the workflow, but it really takes a lot of sophistication of connecting like 7 different tools into one workflow to get it to really work perfectly. So I kind of price it as a one-time build fee and then a ongoing management cost. So I keep everything running on my back end. So I don't really send over the automation, but they'll have the output on an Airtable interface where they could just look through all the articles, and then we kind of adjust and fine tune as we go forward.
Right. So you're not wanting to give away the secret sauce, right? Because someone could just take that, replicate the entire system, and then go off and sell for themselves, and that's all your hard work. That's immediately.
But I do show a lot of I show basically all the workflows I am using, but it's different than actually sending them the workflow that I use and then having everything connected already. If someone wants to try to replicate it and build the same workflow, I'm saying that's more than fine with me, because I know how many hours it's taken me to build out that entire workflow and how many different things it connects, especially with the custom Airtable filtering that like I build in. So like everything is so tailored made that like I show everything I build, but I don't really send over the actual build itself.
Yeah, I mean, usually that's a big enough of a gap for people to be like, fuck it, I'll just pay someone to do it for me instead, right? Like, it's all good and well to see something and see how it's done, but to actually then have the patience to then go and do it yourself is a completely different thing. I think the newsletter and the content writing is like an interesting example because you can fine tune these models to produce really good quality output. I was wondering, with the other kind of different clients that you've worked with, if there's maybe any examples you can give of processes that you've automated or clients you've provided results for that you can kind of highlight as like, yeah, this is a great job that I've done.
So I would say that my main process is if someone wants me to build out something and do that model, I'm happy to do that. But my main offer right now is I'm meeting with people on an hour a week basis and then walking through their entire operations, breaking down what they're doing, and then giving them the right tools they need to be more efficient and giving them innovative ideas on how to attack their current process. And in that process, as I've been growing as my own company, I created a lot of really cool specific tools that are helping me grow on LinkedIn, YouTube, podcasts, and everything. So I created a platform that as long as they're with me, they have access to all of my custom tools for them to use as much as they want. So it's like LinkedIn helpers, blog creator helpers, deep research report. Like you could enter someone's name and it'll give you all the information about them in under 2 minutes. And like I've spoken to people that hire research teams to produce a report about people before they meet with people, where my report does probably a better job in under 2 minutes. And I leverage relevance AI for that. And there's so many different tools that you put together. So I know which tool is the best for what capability, or making LinkedIn posts. I used to spend hours a day trying to format the perfect LinkedIn post. So I just created my own tool where you just give anything you want and it will pop out for you the best LinkedIn post. And then you could click generate image, where I connected OpenAI's API to generate an image based on that. But then I realized that it's not the best image generator. So then I switched it out to be an ideogram API. So like I'm connecting all these different APIs behind the scenes for my clients just to get the best output from every single tool as like an add-on while I help them integrate AI across their entire business.
I mean, it sounds as if you're learning everything through an intense period of experimentation, right? It's like you can only recommend these tools if you spend hours and hours and hours slogging through the options and trying different APIs and connecting them and seeing the results, having that feedback loop. Obviously, this is all you, right? And this might be a silly question because of what you've just said and how much you're utilizing AI, but is it just you as part of the company, or do you have other people, or do you have plans to hire other people as part of your business?
Yeah, it's just me. And I tell people that like I'm the perfect example of a use case about what's possible with AI, because I wouldn't be able to do everything I'm doing if I wasn't leveraging AI. I made a post recently about how I have the equivalent of probably 20 people working for me, just because every single thing I do on a daily basis, if I need it done, I'm building out a workflow or a custom GPT to do it. So I'm basically like an orchestrator of data flowing between different platforms, where it's just like I am the strategist behind copy, pasting, editing, and it's all my creativity and it's all my ideas. But all of the first drafts, I'm saying I'm not doing any of it. So like everything is sped up a million times. Like I grew to over 4,000 followers on LinkedIn. Like I write for a newspaper. I write on LinkedIn every day. I do a newsletter every day. I do an AI podcast every day. I post YouTube videos, and I've been on 6 other podcasts. And it just, the amount of stuff that I could accomplish every day and every week and every month just compounds and compounds, where it's unbelievable what you could do with it.
If that compounding's got you to where you are right now, where do you see yourself in the company in 1, 3, 5, 10 years time?
My goal is really to become one of the go-to AI consulting companies where companies want to go and learn how to leverage AI into their business. And I'm really trying to go big. Like I have big plans, big ideas because I have a lot of skills and ambition behind me. And one of the other routes I'm also wanting to take is kind of building a community around myself where it's like you join my community and I'm constantly just sharing everything I'm learning because there's not enough people giving great advice, actionable advice that have experience hands-on with the tools that they're recommending. Like I only recommend tools that I've personally tried and use like on a daily basis. So it's not just I'm saying like I'm getting paid for these tools, so like go use it. Like I personally test out everything I recommend and I've spent hours and hours and hours trying to figure out how to make everything work together.
What's your favorite part of the job?
I would say it's the possibility that you could accomplish basically anything you set your mind to. Like, because I don't know how to code, but the things that I've been able to build, even if they were extremely hard, like it's possible now because if you work hard and long enough, you're able to make it work if you put in the time and the effort. So it's like any crazy idea I have, like I'm able to make it a reality. And like I think that's the coolest part.
Yeah, I mean, I think just now is the age for the big thinkers, thankfully, right? As like most like mediocre coding tasks and even like advanced level coding tasks and building tasks can be done by AI through Lovable, through different kind of methods, VO, Replit. Like there's a lot of stuff that can be done. So if you get to focus on the big ideas, and just have AI build things for you, it's like it's an awesome time to be that person. I'm not sure if you're the same as me, but I've always been very entrepreneurial and always had these huge ideas, but never really knew how to build them. And now, for the first time in history, you don't really need to know how to build them. You just need to have an idea and have a vision. And then, as long as you know how to work with AI, that can be done for you, which is an incredible time to be alive.
Like you just need the innovative ideas. And I think that's where companies and people get stuck a lot because they just don't know where to start and how it could be helpful to them. So if you know its capabilities and you know how to tie that directly to what they're struggling with, like that's the biggest piece that's helping people.
Say, for example, I said to you, you need to hire someone, right? And you've got 6 months to train them to be as effective as possible and growing your business and helping you out and scaling things. And you have 6 months to train them. What would you teach them? What YouTube sources would you send them to? What podcasts would you tell them to listen to? What tools would you tell them to become masters at? And you got a 6 months window, like what would you do? Where would you point them?
Like if I had to hire someone for me or just to teach someone how to leverage AI
For
me,
you.
I would probably just build out an AI assistant. But
You're not allowed to build it out an AI system. You have to have a human being.
yeah, like I created, like I wanted a customer service rep just because. So like, yeah, I set up a voice phone number and instructions. I gave it like instructions on my book that I wrote and like how to integrate AI. And then I gave it a phone number and it said, any questions you have, just call him. So just like anything you can do, you can build. So like that's the possible reality. But I would recommend someone that I would hire. I would say I would want someone that is like a doer and does action because you could read about as much AI as possible and these cool ideas, but the only way you really get a feel for it is actually trying it out. So I would recommend just playing around with ChatGPT as much as possible, pushing the limits, seeing like the only way I know what's possible is because I'm trying everything. I'm trying to throw Excel spreadsheets in there. I'm trying to throw PDFs in there. I'm trying to create images. I'm trying to do everything possible. And I see what it's good at, what it's not good at, where it gives me errors and where it doesn't give me errors. So it's just basically open up ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity. I would say those are the main ones. Gemini also I love because now you could share your screen with the Gemini 2.0, and just start doing tasks with it, and you'll learn that way. And then that's really the best way, is to really experiment on your own. And then I would say I would teach them. I'm saying the best way to approach everything. So it's not like I would send them otherwise, because it's kind of my company to help people learn AI. So like I would guide them on the way on like, okay, this is the best way to approach this task. This is the best way to approach this task. But it's really a hands-on thing that you need to have a mindset shift on. You need to start leveraging AI first for everything. And then if you see AI can't be used, then you could start doing it yourself, because that's where you really push the possibilities.
Yeah, a
I'm not
huge
sure if that exactly answers your question, but
No, in a roundabout way, it does. It's a huge shift in like the person you would hire. It would be based on personality traits and mindset rather than a specific skill set, right? Because if you have them and their modus operandi is experimentation and they're trialing out things all the time, then that's much more valuable to you than someone that's hyper focused on a specific skill set, which might be outdated in 6 months to a year's time.
exactly, like skills are being democratized, where you could be really good at something, but yeah, then I could also build something that's really good that kind of could match your skills slightly. That doesn't mean the human component is getting extinct. It's just that for certain tasks, I don't need to hire someone for every single thing. So it's the type of person that is going to be adaptable and wants to learn on the new innovations that could keep up with everything going on.
You're obviously deep in the weeds. You are working with AI tools every day. You've got your finger on the pulse. What are you most excited about in this coming year? Like what tools are being released, what technologies, like have you got your eye on AI agents, updates to ChatGPT, O3? Like what are you most excited about to get your hands on, start working with? Any predictions for 2025?
I'm excited to start working more with AI agents, because I'm building out a lot of cool workflows through make.com and Relevance AI. So it's kind of like I built a manager where I give it a task and it manages two other AI agents. And based on this task that I give it, it will delegate that task to the appropriate AI agent with its own skills and tools. So I think the better the capabilities come out of around AI agents, and you could kind of give certain AI agents certain tasks, and they just come back with you with a final rough draft without you having even that interaction in the first place about like what to do, how to do it, or you set it up one time. I think that's the biggest edge that people are going to have. Like for my AI driven podcast, I set up a make.com workflow where all I need to do is take some articles and push one button, and it generates all the summaries for the articles. It generates the script, it generates the title, the description, and the audio. And all I need to do right now, and that's done in under a minute. So it took me hours to set up, but now to maintain on a daily basis, I just need to push one button every single day. So it's really the processes that are built right now that could really help you for the future, because it's my ideas for everything. So like for a LinkedIn post, it's not just like a bland LinkedIn post. It's like personable stories that are happening to me, because I'm not just saying to AI, like, give me 25 posts that I could write on LinkedIn, then just posting that. I'm going to the AI every single day and I'm like, okay, I had this interesting call with the client and I learned this lesson. Just help me format it. So it's all of my ideas, just AI is helping me in the building process. Like I'll go to the newsletters and I'll be like, okay, which newsletters from already my filtered list is the best ones even from here to do my newsletters. And then also for my podcast, I also generated the instructions on how the podcast should be followed. So it's an AI host and it makes jokes around its self-awareness. So it's just kind of like a take on that. So it's kind of like I'm putting my human twist on the processes to happen.
How aligned is what you're currently doing now with what you would expected like 10 years ago? Like, what did you think when you were a child, when you were a kid? or maybe even 10 years ago, did you have any inkling that this would be along the lines of what you were doing? Were you always entrepreneurial?
No. So like I actually went through life in school not really wanting to do anything. Like I didn't care to like work for like a job, and like I didn't really have any pull in any direction. So I think that's how I shifted all over. But then once I discovered AI, like I just like I have such a passion for learning it and helping other people that right now, like I work maybe like 18 hours a day every single day, even with AI, because now I have more time. So I just choose to do 10 times the output because I have AI, and I'm really building the foundation for my company right now. So I would never imagine that I would be on my own building my own company as an entrepreneur, because I never saw that in my future. But I don't think anyone saw this entire industry evolving, because it's really a new industry, and it's just I love it that everyone's kind of on the same playing field, because I even speak to a lot of people that know how to code, but it's even different than coding. It's like a totally different language that even if you do know how to code, that doesn't mean you're very good with manipulating AI.
Why do you think AI spoke to you so specifically? Like you were not really bothered about many things before AI comes along and it really sparks your interest. Like why AI?
I think it's just the possibility that, like I said before, like I could take ownership and build anything that I want. And I think I could take charge of my future, and like AI makes that possible.
Got you. How do you explain what you do to random people on the street, people that you meet that aren't involved in the industry? It's all very good us having this conversation, but like
Yeah.
family members that don't understand what you do, how do you explain your job to them?
Yeah, no, it definitely comes off very overwhelming if I go too much into it. But on a basic way, I just say that I help businesses leverage AI to boost their efficiency, or to help them do whatever they're doing better and faster while leveraging AI.
I love it. And if
Yeah.
people want to learn more about who you are, what you do, or maybe get in touch, how do they do that?
Yeah. So you can find me on LinkedIn. I post there every single day. We could set up a free consultation to see if we're a good fit for any of the programs that I mentioned. And the AI podcast is AI Gen Daily, or I run a daily newsletter that's called the AI Brief, the AI Daily Brief. And I am basically making myself as visible as possible because AI is allowing that. But my main platform is LinkedIn.
All right, dope. Avi, I want to thank you for your time. I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time with me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you.